Hello friends, today's video is about a topic that may be less spoken about in the recovery community, but is nonetheless incredibly important, and that is what to do with low appetite, or what to do when you're not feeling hungry. Now, this can be something that is just a fleeting experience, or it may be that you are someone who suffers with or is struggling with low appetite more consistently through your recovery process. I wanted to come on and share a post that I made on Instagram a couple of weeks, maybe even months ago now actually, about this exact topic. And I'm aware that some of you following me here will also be on Instagram, so you may have seen this already, but I'm also aware of the fact there are lots of people who use YouTube who don't use Instagram or who don't follow me there. So I wanted to share with you the words that I wrote in this post all around this topic. And if you see me reading, that's what I'm doing. So, what to do if you don't feel hungry? I talk about high levels of hunger in recovery a lot, but something I've not shared about as much is what to do when your appetite has hit rock bottom and you just don't fancy anything. First things first, you are in recovery from a restrictive eating disorder. Not eating is not an option. No ifs, no buts, no excuses. It's not an option. And I think something that's very important is standing firm in that truth, reminding yourself and giving yourself no other option but to press forward, firmly reminding yourself that not having anything is not an option, and equally not copping out and opting for an eating disorder approved option is also not recovery aligned. So I think it's very important, first and foremost, to stand firm in that truth. Now, low appetite is something that is not at all uncommon in the context of the recovery process. And there's a wide variety of things that can cause this. Anxiety, psychosomatic fullness or sensations, low mood, being unwell for other reasons, the wonderful GI, gastrointestinal, side effects of recovery. So bloating, gas, gastroparesis, which is the slowing of the digestive system, fancying everything, but also nothing at the same time. That is something I very, very much relate to experiencing. That sensation of not feeling that I was specifically hungry for anything and not having an appetite for anything specific, but was just generally kind of wanting all of it. And really, if we're actually digging into this and getting specific, that's not so much low appetite, but really, really high appetite, as in that's not an absence of hunger. Really, that is a dominant presence of hunger, because when you are in that place where actually your body's kind of going, anything and everything, that is because it is hungry. But I found that because I'd gotten so used to having really specific cravings and desires for things and having things be so crystal clear in my mind of what I wanted when I was inside my eating disorder, or I was sort of 1 foot in recovery, 1 foot not, that actually when I was really committing to the recovery process and would experience this kind of lack of specific cravings, I would feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not hungry. I don't know what I want. And actually, I think, yes, in a way, that can be one of the ways that low appetite might show up, that you're sort of just a bit apathetic towards things. But if you are experiencing that quite specific symptom of not wanting anything in particular and kind of just wanting everything, then actually that is mental hunger. And you need to lean into it. You need to listen to it. You need to honor it. Anyway. Oh, there's Roka. Another one is being too busy. Appetite avoidance. This can be conscious or subconscious. You may not even realize that that is why you are busy being. When you are in that energy deprived state, there can be a tendency to be living on that conveyor belt. And as I say, that busy bee conveyor belt life, it can either be that you're consciously aware that that is a distraction or running away from hunger, or it may be that you are not consciously aware that actually that's something that's happening as a byproduct of your energy deprived state, that you're not directly correlating to a hunger distraction technique. Having a difficult recovery environment can certainly be a factor which negatively impacts your levels of appetite or hunger connection. Thinking that your hunger should be physical, that kind of links into the point I was just making about the fancying everything but also nothing. Absolutely, this is a not at all uncommon thing that people experience, where they think, oh, I'm not hungry for anything, because they may not be experiencing any physical symptoms. But then if you dig in and ask, well, are you thinking about food? Then they may actually go, oh, yeah, no, I am. And oh, I'm thinking about food in this way and that way and all these different ways. And it's really important that you're acknowledging mental hunger as the valid hunger signal that it is. Finally, fear. In the same way as I said at the start, that anxiety can be something that negatively impacts appetite, so can fear. So, if you are experiencing low appetite levels, please know that you're not alone, you're not broken, and you're not doing things wrong. Maybe your hunger is usually like a foghorn, but one day you just wake up to silence. Maybe your fear overrides everything, and you just don't feel any connection with your hunger at this time. Maybe you're solidly slumped in that food zone. Maybe your hunger is super erratic and you yo-yo back and forth between being ravenous and really stuffed. Maybe your gastrointestinal symptoms play havoc with your appetite. However, no matter what the cause or presentation, remember that point I made at the start. You are in recovery, and not eating is not an option. And I'll add on to that, not doing your recovery eating is not an option. You are in recovery. You are healing your body. You're healing your brain, and your body needs food and you need to eat. So here are some of the things that helped me in recovery, or that I did in recovery, when I was lacking appetite or not feeling particularly hungry. Number one, I prioritized energy-dense foods. Number two, for my personal GI symptoms, it helped to avoid really high fiber foods, avoiding sort of fruits and vegetables. I wore really comfy, loose fitting clothing, and I rested lots. Number three, I used alarms at times to ensure that food regularity and consistency was maintained. Number four, I ate my favorite things. I really leaned into and listened to the things that genuinely were sounding good to core recovering me, and I prioritized those things. Number five, I noticed that my fear and anxiety-based fullness peaked just before meals, and I learned that that sensation, no matter how real it felt, was not a true representation of my body's actual hunger or fullness. Number six, I did a lot of prioritization of liquid calories, energy-dense fluids. I found those really, really helpful. Seven, I recognized mental hunger as the valid hunger signal that it was. This for me was so important in being able to connect with what my body truly needed. Number eight, I challenged my fear foods head on. I think I really just took this as an opportunity to press on, to push forwards, and to embrace the fact that I didn't have to be wanting things, or I didn't even have to be that hungry to be doing things that my eating disorder disapproved on. And actually, that really accelerated that rate of neural rewiring, in the same way that eating challenging things which are imperfect in themselves in some way was really positive, and it's like a double whammy win. This was also another example of that, when the environment wasn't right, when I didn't feel that hungry, when I wasn't wanting that specific thing. These were all ways in which I could really challenge things and double down on that neural rewiring. Number nine, I forced myself to quit the busy bee bullshit. I created the space and time that I needed to actually listen to my body. I did a lot of jigsaws, played a lot of Xbox games, and I used those as restful distractions to help me disengage from that conveyor belt existence. And finally, number 10, I reached out for support. Remember, Recovery is your responsibility, but that doesn't mean that you have to do it on your own. In fact, one of the boldest, bravest ways that you can take ownership of your responsibility is to reach out for and lean into the support that you need to make your recovery happen and to help and set you up to win in this process. So, I hope that that has been helpful. Thank you once again for all of your love and support on this channel. It continues to mean the world to me. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.